Our time with Arsenal it's been less than 6 months. It's actually probably been 5 months. And I would say the results have been fantastic. So far we have three new prospects that have become partners with Keystone. That represents, close to 15 grand in MRR. It represents, close to 50,000 in project work and that. And so the future looks really bright. We started out with Arsenal really on a maybe secondary territories for us, not really the huge part of our territory because it wasn't available. And so we've had that success even with that restriction. So we're actually considering adding additional territories now with Arsenal and moving forward. Future looks bright. We've been doing this. We've been using cold calling for over 10 years, and consider it a staple of our growth and our business. And we're really impressed with what we've been able to get from Arsenal so far. My name is Gene Whaley. I'm the business development executive at Keystone Technology Consultants, and we've been with Arsenal for probably going on 5 months. I actually heard about Arsenal the same way that I'm trying to get my clients to hear about Keystone. I was cold called by Arsenal. When I received the call, we were already using a cold call company and have been probably for the last 10 years. And it's always worked pretty well for us. But at the time of receiving the call, our company at the time wasn't really hitting the budget numbers, and we had kind of reached a stale point in our growth. And there were a lot of contributing factors, certainly, but we're really looking at this year as a need to really get back on track and make up some of the lost revenue that we've had over the last year or so. I must say I've been pleasantly surprised after 5 months, and that's including a ramp up and everything like that. I was just looking at the numbers. We have actually brought on three new accounts already from the work that Arsenal's been doing, and pretty happy with that. The partnership is, we have somebody from your team, Logan, that I interact with on a regular basis that is calling on our behalf to clients in the market that we have. And it's going real well. We like Logan. He kind of fits the culture. Like he easily could work with us as well. It's his model of calling on clients is very relationship driven, as is our model as well. So it's not a high pressure situation at all. But it is a thorough situation. So when I do get on, the next or my first call with the prospect, we're pretty sure they're a likely candidate to move forward. They meet all of our criteria. We just have a time on the calendar, so every other Monday that we meet just to kind of talk about what he has in the pipeline, maybe what we have going on, what we're experiencing, what we're finding out from prospects, maybe a little further down the chain. So I share with him, keywords and strategies that seem to be working that I would like for him to focus on as he's, talking with prospects and that. So it's just a pretty good, like he would maybe bring to that meetings an issue that somebody's having that he just can't get past, and likely I've encountered that in the past and have, something I can share with him to maybe help him get over that. As I mentioned earlier, I would say the strengths are there certainly is a determination to get the job done, to a determination to work the call list, really interact with as many prospects as possible and document everything along the way. But I would also say that just the relationship part, the fact that it at least doesn't seem high pressure to the prospect, but we are moving the ball forward. Absolutely not. I think is it maybe more difficult than it ever has been? Yeah, that's probably true. Um, but it still comes down to catching somebody at a time when they have a need or think they might have a need or something like that. And so if you're going to catch somebody at that point in time, then you've got to do it a lot, right? You've got to call them a lot. You've got to miss them a lot. You got to be hung up on a lot. All those, kinds of things that eventually plant a seed of, Keystone in their mind, so that when they do have a need, that's the name that they think of, or even if you happen to catch them when they have a need, then we're ready to move forward. So I know the cold calling death has been that story has been told a lot, but we're doing everything else too, and the cold calling remains the one part of our business that continues to bring in new prospects. Yes. So Logan is definitely above expectations. We certainly do look at him as part of the team. We've actually put his name and picture on our website as part of our team as well. There are many days that we're interacting, within teams, chatting or whatever. And matter of fact, I've received probably about 6 updates from him today already within teams. So and I would say too that whatever the need is from my perspective, if I need a little bit of adjustment somewhere or I know that Arsenal has a very regimented way that they go about doing business, and there were some things that were just maybe slightly different the way that we do it with our real focus on relationship building in that, and certainly Logan was willing and able to adapt and do some things, and set up even something as little as he will set up my initial call with the prospect, and I asked him, I said, hey, can you, because you're setting up that call, can you go ahead and plug in the team's calendar, that it be recorded and that we have the co-pilot turned on for that. And it was no problem. He absolutely did. And then I think he noticed along the way, looking at my calendar, that I actually block the half hour before the meeting in order to, for me to do some prep for the call and make sure I'm not rushed going into the call. And he just does that automatically now and sets it up and throws in the details of the prospect into that note. It's working real well. So we are, I'm going to say, let me look here real quick. So I think, so we're just closing out 5 months, and remember that, there was a ramp up in that in the beginning, but so far I've got close to 21 appointments, I believe, in that time frame. And a good amount, I'm gonna say like 94% of those appointments have actually showed up for the meeting, which is awesome. And then resulting out of that then is probably, well, not probably, it is 3 new accounts for Keystone. And just with a monthly revenue between those 3 of, close to $15,000, and then an impact on this year of over $110,000. So those those are the numbers. Okay, I'm gonna say probably it looks like about 15 grand in monthly MRR from those 3. And then probably another well, let's see here, up front. So 16, yeah, probably close to 50,000 in just, onboarding fees and project fees to get them on board and that and so forth. So, and then probably another, I don't know, 2,500 or so just in, Microsoft licensing and things like that. just waiting in the pipeline just from Arsenal is another close to $10,000 MRR, and I would say probably close to another 50,000 in project fees and things like that. So, and it's hard to say which of those, are going to close and so forth. But they're still out there. It's a big decision for clients in some of these to make. So we're still after them. I will say, even I had one that kind of went silent on me after we proposed. Everything looked super positive, like it was going to happen right away, and then they just really went silent. I gave it back to Logan, and he's actually rekindled it again and kind of discovered that, there were some extenuating circumstances for them internally. They, had taken on some venture capital money and to grow their business, and they needed to focus on that. But would circle back around once that was moving along to get us in. So for sure, some of the things that are in the pipeline still are going to come. So the first success, I would say, this was one that now in our model, our first meeting with the client is always a Teams call, and then if that works, then we actually go to an on-site assessment where I will go on site then. And Logan had this particular prospect queued up, but the guy, the president there, wanted to meet in person at first. And so I've kind of given Logan that ability to look. If it really makes sense, if you're getting a sense that the first call needs to be in person, then just do it, right? If the first call can be a Teams call, then that's fantastic too. But you make the decision as to which one it needs to be. And on this one, he was pretty sure that it would be better if I went on site for it, which I did. And this was a somewhat unique opportunity because the president there and we never actually talked about technology at all. He really was interested in knowing more about Keystone, our how we do business, what we focus on, the kind of company that we are. And then that was going to determine for him whether it made sense to go to the next step or not. So he made that call correctly. It did go to the next step, and ultimately it was the culture of our company that caused the change for him. So, but it did kind of, for me, it had happened, fairly quickly too. So it just reinforced that we had made the right decision and that Arsenal was the right company to be with for this, and that the back and forth that Logan and I had, both focused on growing the business, really paid off and was going to. So we have a very ambitious goal for this year for growth. And so we've got a handful of what we call cannons that are out there firing for us, right? And Arsenal is one of those cannons. But at the end of July, we are actually like a percentage point ahead of what our goal is for the year. So the things that are happening for us, and Arsenal is a big part of that, obviously, are right on track for a very ambitious goal that we have. So it seems that we've made some of the right decisions, and we're very happy with those decisions and the results of those. So I'm going to say the ROI for us with Arsenal, we're ahead of schedule, and we're pretty excited about that. It's not an inexpensive endeavor, right? To make a decision like this and to make this investment, into the company and into the future. There's no doubt about it. But neither is doing business with Keystone, right? That also is an investment, and it's not the cheapest opportunity or the cheapest, company out there to do business with. But so you really have to evaluate this on what actually the results are, and what happens, with that. And so that's where we sit with this, right? Our culture and our model is that we only do business with companies that are within a 90-minute drive of our office. And we do that because we think it's pretty important that, if we need to be on site for anything or have a meeting or anything like that, we're never more than a 90-minute drive away from being able to do that. Now, it's generally less than that because we have, engineers that live in all of our, markets. So we usually have somebody pretty close to all of our clients regardless. So that being said, it's a very captive market that we have, and so this kind of made sense for us in that probably 3/4 of our business is manufacturing as well. So that's a niche that we're really good at, and a niche I think probably because they themselves are most of them are outsourced, so they kind of get it right. And so this was not like I said, we've been, using cold call company for 10 years. So this was really just a matter of finding one that, kind of worked the same way we did and had the same goals and operated the same way we did. So this is how we ended up with Arsenal. And at the time, the areas that were available to us was not even the biggest part of our territory from just a size wise and opportunity wise. That part was not even available to us, and we've had that success in maybe the what would be considered secondary markets for us. So we're contemplating adding the. It looks like the main part of our territory is available, and so we're actually contemplating that and considering how to add that. So using Arsenal versus hiring. Well, look, it would be kind of hypocritical, I think, of us to hire for this role, considering that's the value proposition that we deliver to our clients about technology, right? Is having hiring us to do your technology means you don't ever have to worry about vacation coverage. You don't ever have to worry about, that person leaving, getting them all trained, and then they leave and go to another role. You don't have to worry about, the day-to-day management of them, the benefits, all those things, right? With we say that's why you want to hire Keystone to do your technology is because of all those things. Well, the same applies here. This is what Logan does and what Arsenal does. This is a very difficult job. And the person has to be wired in such a way to hear no 25 times a day. But only thing they remember is the one maybe. That's got to be at the end of the day, that's all they remember. And those people are hard to find. And that position too has a high turnover rate, as you might expect, because of the difficulty in doing that, right? And so you've got to find somebody. It's a needle in a haystack to find the person that can do this job and can block out all the no's, but can really be fired up by the three new accounts that he's been a part of, and that's really what all he remembers and gets him going. So it was never an option for us to consider hiring somebody. That just makes no sense to us. So I've come to expect 3 to 4 new, prospect opportunities a month, right? And even, well, this in July, I actually, came to him and said, "Look, I'm one short on my overall goal, for this month. Can you scratch and scrape and get one more for me?" Right? Which he did. And so that I myself, met my goal too. So there's a lot of back and forth and a lot of working together, and looking at the numbers, I can expect 3 to 4 new opportunities a month. That's what the numbers are saying. I don't know, what you could do, better. I've been impressed, with everything so far. I think Logan's ability to adapt to the way that we do business, and to, which is different, I know, than most. And so his ability to adapt to that and trust that, if he puts things in front of me, that I'm going to follow up on them, and that we're gonna get to the finish line, whether it's a yes or no, and some of them are going to be yeses, that he trusts that that's going to happen. And he's adaptable and flexible to help me do that, and the way that we do it. So nothing comes to mind, Matt. Right now, there's a couple things that are different, right? The companies that I've worked with in the past, have had multiple people that are doing the calling versus, it's just Logan, with you. And so there seems to be, there's a buy this model, there's a buy-in by the salesperson to get the caller to the call, and to make sure that it moves forward. Versus there may be more emphasis, with other companies on, just getting, the appointments. And the focus might be on the appointments, not on the actual moving the call forward, not on the actual closed deals. And so I think that that's huge. That makes a big difference. There are, differences, and look, we've seen a lot of turnover with other companies as well. And while that's to be expected, I guess it's not happened. It's been 5 months, but it's not happened, here, which tells me, probably something about Arsenal, and the way that they, treat their employees, and the way they hire, and all those kinds of things. So I think those are all positive, certainly, and I would recommend, Arsenal for sure. Certainly, we've met, short-term goals already, no doubt, and which then obviously puts us on pace, to meet the, long-term goals. So, we did have some ramp up, planned for, in the first, half of the year, with, the probably what has traditionally been the busiest time of the year coming up for us, in the fall. So we're really banking on, just exploding in the fall, and moving forward. So yeah. I think the advice I would say would be to do it, certainly. The other part of it would be to be prepared for it, right? Understand spend some time, with your, Arsenal salesperson, so that they really do understand your company, and understand how you, would answer, typical questions, and what you want them to say, and all those kinds of things. You want there to be a culture match, right away, from the first call, and so there's an investment of time and energy in the beginning that is required, necessary, and you should look forward to. Well, it's been a pleasure so far. There's no doubt about it, and we're looking forward to what the future, might hold for us. And we've enjoyed our relationship, with Logan. We're not necessarily hockey fans up here, but we're definitely, go Buckeyes, and so forth. But we he has really fit in with us and our team. Logan, you keep doing what you're doing, and we're going to convert you to a Ohio sports fan, no matter what. Anyway, and but we love how you're representing us in the market, and let's go.